What's up, guys? Welcome back to MDL. This is going to be game 2 between Kinguin and Swiss Quality Gaming. This game 1, it was pretty convincingly in favor of Kinguin. Get a little bit of an early lead, keep on rolling forward with it. SQG weren't completely helpless, but for sure need a little bit of a shake-up here in game 2 if they want to stay in the winner's bracket. Dropping down to a loser, best of 1, that's no fun at all. Mikelorus got Rhyme on the line as well. And we have a little bit of a difference here. So SQG going to pick up the Sand King. We kind of glossed over the draft in the last game. I don't believe this hero was banned.
I didn't see it. I didn't notice it in particular. So, oh, the tiny's gone through. Here we go.
Well, I mean, the gyrocopter is banned out, this time by Kinguin themselves. I think most of the other bans are the same here. So, Tiny is going to be picked up from Kinguin, and Tiny is certainly a hero that requires some effort to actually deal with. Sand King, as far as being in lane versus melee heroes, usually can have a pretty good time with Caustic Finale, and he definitely has a better time than most, I would say, up against a Tiny, but even then, it's like, that tree branch, man, that tree branch limits your safe lane, your lane picks by just so much, and Sand King Witch Doctor, they got to try to deal with that.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Like, Tiny's just strong. The thing about Tiny is he can be played as 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, 4. And he's annoying in every single one of them. In every single one of them, he just picks up a tree and starts smacking you at another one. There's not really that much you can do about it. So trading with him is not advisable for quite a while. But they do have a Witch Doctor, so Maledict is available, so they can use that to kill Tiny because it's one of the few spells that actually stays on Tiny for more than a few seconds. Well, it's one of the lane counters that exists. So, oh, that's a Tusk for Kinguin this time. Overall, I'm liking Kinguin's first 3 heroes. Very open. The Tiny can go anywhere. They can pick a lot of heroes to combo with this stuff as well. So,
yeah, just a nice little base here. That defensive power of the Tusk, certainly very nice up against heroes like Witch Doctor and Sand King, who, and once they drop their spells, then it's like, it's very apparent, it's very easy to dodge, unless you're stunned beforehand or something like that, but, dodging Epicenter, dodging a Death Ward, stuff like that. Really powerful stuff here coming out from this Tusk, and is going to offer them that offensive edge that you don't usually get should you pick up someone like a Disruptor. And with the Tiny, as you said, like, you can actually do whatever you want here. If they want to push, they can go push. If they want to farm, they can go farm. It's all good for this Kinguin squad. SQG, once again, picking up their 2 supports, I would imagine, their 2 supports as their first 2 picks. Now looking for some cores that, I don't know, maybe need a little bit more just solid lane matchups. That was definitely an issue in the last game. Throwing a Death Prophet in an offensive tri-lane kind of hamstrings the hero.
yeah, she wasn't really able to accelerate. She did, like, okay in the lane, and then they started kind of pressuring her, and she wasn't really able to deal with it. And she ended up with, like, a Hood and a Yules by the end of the game. And, yeah, she had a really hard time getting involved in it. Oh, Clockwork. That's one of Mad King's other heroes. So, yeah, Batrider is his main one. Batrider is the one he climbed MMR with, but that's not available, so he's going to have to go and play something else. He's kind of like an Admiral Bulldog, but with a smaller hero pool. I don't know. Actually, yeah. I think, yeah, Batrider is his main one, so.
Well, does he play any Sand King, though? Because if he plays
I think he plays Sand King as well, so. Yeah, I think he plays Clockwork and Sand King.
Well, there you go.
So I'm not sure which one is his favorite out of the 2.
Kinguin. It's like, who's actually off laning?
Either way, I think the Sand King is the better laner out of the 2. But Clockwork is better at getting XP in much more difficult lanes, so let's see what it is. Venge, alright, we're doing this. Okay, so Kinguin can just kind of push down and end the game if need be. I wouldn't say it's a very good Furion game, but I'm sure they can make it work even versus Sand King and Clockwork, so that might get banned out by SQG at some point. But now SQG have to kind of worry about what they want mid or safe lane, because they really don't know what their matchups are, because they probably have to pick something that lanes pretty well versus the Tiny, and they have to pick something that, like, could maybe go mid against Tiny or something else. Like, I think they want to pick a mid now, maybe something that's pretty catch-all in regards to what it can do. There aren't too many of those heroes anymore, though. Maybe Queen of Pain? Oh, Shadow Fiend, alright.
Ooh, that's a little bit of a risky pick here for SQG. The hero for sure works very well with Clockwork, obviously. I mean, we all know how that works. But, you know, you get the early game power. As far as damage to kill off a Tiny, you do have it without needing to rely on any sort of debuffs for status resistance. That being said, you also are going up against heroes that can just insta-kill you. Like, Vengeful Spirit, Tusk, Tiny, like, these heroes don't bullshit around when trying to kill off an SF. So, if he's able to stay in the back, I could see this getting a lot of traction here for SQG. But if Kinguin play as aggressively as I expect them to play, then this SF may not have a lot of time and space in these fights to get those items up. So the Vengeful Spirit's a pretty big tell, I would say. Probably one of the biggest tells of, we're just going to push you down. We don't want to play this game for very long. And SQG, they're not in a terrible position, actually, to kind of deal with this. It is going to have to come down to this early game, though. Witch Doctor, the 4 position, if it's Clockwork, if it's Sand King, they got to do a lot of heavy lifting, because Kinguin are going to be coming fast.
Yeah, they need to protect the Shadow Fiend as much as possible. I'm pretty sure the Sand King's going to be offlane and Clockwork's going to be support. And then Clockwork can basically just sit mid and cog block for the Shadow Fiend, give them souls as well. But already, like, they've picked Shadow Fiend into this, like, already made counter. It's like, sure, you can be a Shadow Fiend with your souls, but what's that going to do when Tiny just walks up with his tree and starts denying everything anyway? And then you've got to deal with the snowball, and you've got to deal with getting sharded away, and then they can also do things like you can put Tusk in in your own tower range, and then you can walk forward, avalanche the Shadow Fiend, and then toss him back. There's all kinds of things you can do there. So Venomancer is the last pick. Okay, so this draft is going to be mainly focused around the Shadow Fiend's right-click damage, so they need to protect him quite a lot. But Venomancer can also get kind of run over in the lane as well, so this is going to be rough for SQG, provided that Kinguin play this right. And the last pick is remains to be seen.
Only a couple of teams pick up Venomancer. Seems like a not terrible hero to have up against Tiny. Like, your dots come in really, really quickly. Just damage him, and in this particular game when you're expected to be pushed, having those wards up as kind of a deterrent, as, you know, kind of old school Venomancers usually did. It's again, not a hero we see all that often, for sure. A couple of those S+ teams do run him, but the hero seems like it's not too bad here. It is going to place a lot of emphasis on the Shadow Fiend, though, and that's a super risky style.
Already, like, the Kinguin can pick so much. They can go Panda, they can go Abaddon, they can even go Beastmaster. He's still in. He's not the greatest versus Sand King, but he does do pretty well versus Veno. So it's probably one of those. Oh, Puck, actually. Okay. So Puck. Okay, they're going to go with the Puck mid versus the Shadow Fiend. So Puck has about 68 damage when you have a Null, Branch, and a Fairy Fire. So when you have Shadow Fiend with his souls, he has, what, 47 plus 26 or something like that with a Fairy Fire? So SF still has the damage advantage, but Puck is a lot better at killing with a Tusk. And it also guarantees that Tiny will get... I don't see how they deal with this Tiny. Like, it's going to be a Witch Doctor Venomancer lane, but I think if the Tusk plays with them at any point, they'll just roll over people.
Yeah, that's Tiny, though, right? Like, you may have some good answers for him in the later stages, damage-wise, you can kill him, but in the very early stages, you got to try to chip him down, and that's not really a position you really want to find yourself in, where it's like, okay, our answer is to just poke at him and hope that works out well enough, because that's not going to work out well enough, at least not all the time. So Kinguin get a little bit of extra team fight, a little bit of extra initiation coming out from this Puck. Again, if you're looking to get on top of just one hero very, very frequently, Puck is certainly a powerhouse when you're looking to do that. I mean, obviously you want to coil as many people as you can possibly get your hands on, but just dropping a coil on Shadow Fiend, being able to take him off the board right away, it's going to be pretty difficult for SQG to win fights after that.
There's all kinds of funny things you can do. You can coil people, and then if Tiny has a blink, he can blink and then toss the Shadow Fiend out of the coil, thereby doing like 600 damage in one spell and stunning it for 4 seconds or something like that. Which you actually do need BKB to deal with eventually, because that combo gets very obnoxious very fast. Oh, we've got some souls being brought out here, so it's going to be 3 more of these, and SF's going to get capped out.
Standard SF clockwork things. Nothing weird to see here, guys. Man, it's still so stupid how this works. I don't think it's imbalanced or anything like that. I just think it's stupid. But, yeah. On the other end, it looks like it is probably just going to be business as usual. Vengeful Spirit taking to the safe lane, Puck towards the mid lane, Tiny towards off. Getting that tree branch and just bullying your lane opponent, which looks like it might be the Sand King. Again, he does have probably a better matchup than some up against the Tiny. But, it's still going to be a case of you're going to get hit all the frickin' time, and Caustic Finale is only so good up against this hero.
Yeah, I don't think Sand King versus Tiny is a very good lane for the Sand King. I've played the Tiny side of it quite a lot, and it's not very fun for him. The Sand King, that is. So, just having a look at this, so they're just going to be sitting a lot of heroes on bot rune. Shadowfiend's got his 12 souls. Oh, it's 46. Ah. 46 plus 26, not 47. I remember that wrong. Wish is just going to run up and try and cog people away from the rune, but he's probably going to realize he can't get this.
You get a little gold damage into gold into Exotic Deer as well. Bounty runes for Kinguin. Ooh, that's a lot of dough. 3-1 split, and for the team that wants to play aggressive earlier, I'm not really sure how much bounty runes nowadays factor into, we're going to just steamroll you if you get 3-1.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's really not that huge. I mean, it's like, it's most important for like the safe laner, because the safe laner can buy like an early wand or something like that. But speaking of that, Exotic just started the lane with only one branch, so he can't really buy that wand very quickly. So he's just kind of sitting here with 2 mangoes.
And looks like the lanes have rotated.
That's a sandstorm.
Patos hit with the Gale and the Maledict. Of course, he doesn't have any status resistance right now, and this hero is a 0 armor hero. Oh, they will shard up the Shadow Fiend, though. His souls are so precious, and he's going to lose them, at least half of them, as Nisha is going to draw first blood. Shards, they're pretty good in the mid lane, I hear, and Shadow Fiend suffering the fate that we thought a hero would suffer in the last game. You get hit with the shards as SF, and especially level 1, you have absolutely 0 options. If you're at least level 2, you can at least turn around, raise a little bit, and return some damage, but level 1, you just gotta bail, because you're not winning that damage trade ever. And a little bit of a start there for Kinguin. They are struggling to do with the Sand King a little bit, but man, this mid lane seems like it's gonna be real difficult for the SF.
Yeah, this has started off really badly for him. Now he's playing with less damage than Puck. Puck has hit 2 nulls already, sitting with 77 damage, because that hero was clearly balanced in terms of its base damage. And yeah, this lane's pretty sad. Also, the go on top, they've actually killed Patos here, but he's just going to come back, and then he's going to farm this wave on the tower, so it's really not that bad for him. He's getting XP, but he would obviously rather not be dying.
Yeah, at this point, the Tiny is... We talk about, like, answering the Tiny a lot. He chips you out most of the time just by that tree grab. I don't know if chip is necessarily the right word, but he, like, slowly chunks you down. If you get back on the offensive, at the end of the day, he has a lot of health, but he has 0 armor. So actually doing a lot of right-click damage at a range, definitely a feasible way of softening him up, and in this case, actually killing him. So definitely kills that SQG can get, and definitely necessary kills for them to get. Nisha over in mid-land does note the Clockwork has an invis, or had picked up an invis. Probably assumes that he's in the area, but also, I mean, it's a Puck. If you get hit with the cogs, it's usually going to be just fine for you. I'm not sure if what the patch did. Maybe it fixed the phase shift bug. I know Puck's had some difficulty in this last patch.
Yeah, the destroyed bug got fixed. It was every single... it wasn't just phase shift, it was everything. Nothing could destroy it in the game.
In the patch, I didn't actually check.
Yeah, I think it's still broken with some invis mechanics, so, but I'm not quite sure. Because I remember, like, there was a pub when I was playing OD and I blinked Hurricane Pike someone, and he blinked away, and then I just got the 16 in anyway, and I was like, what the hell has happened here?
And you didn't complain.
I mean, no, I still upvoted the Reddit thread that reported it, and that Shadow Fiend is very stuck, and he's been cogged out of it. Nice.
Stuck in a different way now, but the good kind of stuck. The Vengeful Spirit, in the meantime, is having the time of her life. The Sand King's got 0 CS. He's been trying to Sandstorm, and experience-wise, he's not doing too terribly, but Vengeful Spirit lanes, when she's getting farm, this shit gets dangerous, so they will Burrow Strike into the Disruptor and immediately take him down. Exotic Deer now is...
He's just going to fight this, I think.
Off Mad King's not quite doing enough damage at this stage, though. Definitely needs at least like a boot upgrade or an Aquila if he's going to really start laying it in. Nice little rotation there from Wish, although it does seem like that was mostly just the Sand King by himself.
Yeah, overall, it's like they could have gone aggro with this Kinguin lane. Like they could have gone into this, but it would have been uncertain. And they're like, well, Tiny can deal with not having that much farm for a while. Like Tiny's doing better than the Sand King is, so well, maybe it's about even. But the Venge is farming a lot, and she's going to get her Aquila, and she's going to get her wand, and then laning versus her is going to be obscenely difficult. And then they get their sixes on their cores, and then they just kind of run at people. So we'll see how that goes.
Clock is definitely ticking away here. This Venomancer, level 4, and does do an extraordinary amount of damage. Now picks up level 5, dumps 2 into the Plague Wards, is ready to mount that defense. But it may cost his damage output a little bit if SQG don't get pushed perhaps as much as they would expect, and they might be in a little bit of a compromised position. Speaking of that, Mad King's on bottom lane, snowballed after the magic missile, and is going to die here. Katzer makes a little rotation, and does capture Wish as well with those shards. I don't think he'd actually do anything about this, although Vengeful Spirit's coming from the side. They probably can do something about this. He's caught in a field and his own cogs, and he will be picked off as well. 67 plus 18, this Vengeful Spirit hits like an absolute truck. With minus armor, of course, with more damage from her allies, from the aura. You don't want to mess with an early game Vengeful Spirit, and this might be like your textbook VS game.
Yeah, she's going for the pretty fast turn with the Dominator as well, so she's going to be happy in that regard. Mid lane's gone obscenely one-sided now. Like level 4 Shadow Fiend versus level 5.5 Puck. Like the CS looks roughly even, but remember that's an 18 and 6 Shadow Fiend, not 18 and 18, compared to 33 and 17. So the influence of the Tusk on this mid lane and the fact that Nisha is also very good means that, yeah, this lane's not gone very well for him.
They will find an angle onto the Disruptor on the bottom lane. Mad King's, I think he's hit with some dust here. He is still tracked up with the Thunderstrike, but will survive. Exotic Deer throws out a wave, will connect, but it won't do enough damage. Only level 1 still. So they will rotate in, kill off a Disruptor, keep their Sand King alive. Nice little pickup here for SQG, but it's still not going to stop Exotic Deer from farming. It's not going to redeem this mid lane disaster so far. I mean, just look at the net worth. The Puck is literally doubling the SF's net worth. And that, I feel, should not really be happening now. Gonna drop a coil onto Davy on the high ground, just getting obliterated by this right-click damage of Nisha. Throws out an orb for some vision. Jumps to it. One more shot is all they need, and they will get the kill on the Witch Doctor. But takes a couple raises for his troubles. Will try to dodge a second. Will fail. Nisha goes in a little bit too ham. Does cost himself his life. Probably not worth it there for the Puck, as that's a really big pickup here for SQG. Almost, yeah, 400 gold, 450 experience. Not bad at all for only 7 minutes in the game.
Yeah, there's still a 1k net worth difference between SF and Puck, though. So it's not so bad. I mean, he got a kill for it, so he's not feeling that terrible about it. But giving a bit back to the Shadow Fiend, he's maybe going to catch up, but he's still got a long way to go. He's just now going to send out the wand, the boots, the clarity. Well, looking at top lane, Partos is just going to happily farming away under his tower. Not much Veno can do to stop that.
Bottom lane,
down on bot lane.
Jump in, find Exotic Deer. This Venge, though, does have a swap. Will get out as Mad King's is going to fall. Elisash is here, and he's kind of in a compromised position right now, but with Exotic Deer still doing the damage, they're just going to race for kills, and they should have Wish in the bag. They will. Now looking for Davy. I don't think the Venge is quite fast enough to get that kill as well. But it will be a little bit of a trade here on this bottom lane as SQG rotate in. A lot of heroes try to pick off this Venge, and ultimately do fail in that. The hero is surprisingly bulky. You don't expect a hero that's, sometimes played as support to be this difficult to kill off, but 9 armor, decent amount of HP, and with this much damage, we'll get another kill. Man, they tried to stop her, and I commend SQG for trying that. Definitely a good play to make in theory. In practice, didn't work out quite the well they wanted to.
Yeah, and now she's got a helm with the Dominator. Also, if you look at Venge, she's got 2.9 strength gain. I still think that's a bit absurd.
Sand King is 2.9 as well. He's a strength hero. So, there you go.
Dota isn't a fair game. We saw that last game.
It's really not, man.
Nisha's going to take the mid tower as well. He's also got that regen, so he's going to push this wave out probably and then go somewhere else. Maybe wrap around that bot tower, but We'll see.
They are shipping out this bottom lane as well. Exotic Deer has 3 points in the aura. With the attack speed from the Helm of the Dominator, this catapult is just blasting off, man. They will Burrow Strike in onto the Vengeful Spirits. They will Glimpse Back Wish, and now the swap back in is going to keep Exotic Deer safe. Although Katzer is going to snowball in the wrong direction, he's definitely going to fall here. They have once again saved their Vengeful Spirit, which was the objective there. Kinguin push will be stopped, and oh, the illusion from the Tusk brings it into deny range. Don't think I've seen that before. Very, very weird, but either way, still failure of a kill attempt there from SQG, though they do get the kill. It's not the kill that they want. It's just not good enough at this stage.
Yeah, Exotic Deer doesn't hesitate for a single second. He just swaps in the Disruptor into the... Well, sorry, mate, you're just gonna have to deal with that. Oh, Nisha's under attack, but he's a puck, so he's fine. I just keep coming back to this top lane, and nothing's happening, and both parties seem to be fine with this, but Tiny's caught up to the Venom completely in net worth.
It's the downside of like Venomancer with his ward build. You push endlessly, and you do get a lot of CS, you do get a lot of tower damage, but you give the offlaner a lot of experience and gold at the same time.
Well, he's about to get his hood, so hopefully that can convert into some more pushing. Maybe he can get the tower at some point, but I think he's too afraid to go for it now, because any single TP that comes in top will kill him. All the glimpse coming out on the system.
Back on Mad King's Burrow Strike will get him a lot of distance. In fact, it takes him out of the field. With Tricky in the area, they will defend Mad Kings and keep him alive. Exotic Deer is stuck here, and it looks like maybe swap and run? No, there's a Burrow Strike there, and he will get caught, although the coil is going to give him a little bit of cover here, as Nisha does crash in really hard, kills off the Sand King in the process. Snowball coming in as well onto Davey the Witch Doctor, is in a compromised spot right now. With the right clicks from Katsu, they will take the kill, but the poison stacking up with the Tusk will make it a trade. Nisha as well, with the Invis Rune, trying to get away, will not get very far. Now hit with another Gale, will go down. Eventually,
he jumps to the low ground,
he
tries to sell.
Nisha will fall. Great little trade there for SQG. This Venomancer showing up in a big way.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that go. Like, the call from Nisha to go in there. I mean, he got a coil, but they didn't really have the damage to kill who they need to. Oh, Mad Kings is getting hit a bit, but maybe this is a kill on Tiny, actually. I think it might be.
Ask has nothing to bounce to. They do Maledict and Death Ward. He does have
dead.
A little bit of armor here, but definitely not enough. And he will be brought down. So, starting across the map now, Kinguin lose all 3 of their cores, and a couple of extra supports thrown in there as well. SQG lose nothing, and at bare minimum, get this SF some very valuable time to recover. Being in the middle of the net worth chart is not where SF wants to be. So, trying to race for some creeps in the forest in the meantime, and trying to alleviate some of this pressure. And they're still going to be pressured for sure. But getting these picks, kind of evening the playing field a little bit, means that when the push comes, they will have these additional tools, such as the hook shot, which we'll use immediately onto this Disruptor. We'll get glimpsed out of it, so can't get the kill.
Oh,
they will find Exotic Deer, which is probably the better kill if they can actually get him. Vengeful Spirit does have some backup here in the field. And it looks like we'll be able to disengage away on the... Oh, there is a hasted SF coming in hot. Is spotted, though, by this OBS, and will get hit with the coil. He's going to start winding up that Requiem. Will unleash it. Get that damage reduction onto the puck. Not that much damage, however. And this is a really rough fight for Kinguin to get into. Though Patos is coming in from behind. They are going to be a little bit slow on the upkeep, though, as Exotic Deer is already going to be taken down for the SF, a 1-for-1 trade. Patos now caught with the cogs. Is going to try to dig himself out of there, but is going a little bit too slowly. Cog bump back there as well. The puck is just right-clicking freely. They will kill off Wish, and now Tricky, caught up against those shards, is going to struggle to get around into the fight once again, as Davey is going to be in a bad spot. The body block from the catapult, still the Vengeful Spirit's active in this fight. They'll kill off the Witch Doctor as well. It's going to be a fight that Kinguin ultimately do salvage, but going to cost them a lot of pressure on this top lane, as the Sand King was able to free farm that one. 1,600 gold towards that Blink Dagger. Fight looks pretty bad for SQG, but all around the map, it's not that bad for them.
Yeah, it's not that bad. SF died, but he's still able to farm his own woods. They haven't really lost any map control. They've still got farm that they can get. There's going to be a smoke coming out from Kinguin. Puck's early moves haven't really worked out, so the lineup is kind of looking to slow down a bit, but they've got the blink coming out on Tiny fairly soon, so. Speaking of blinks, Mad Kings is farming his own. he might walk straight into the smoke gang from Kinguin, but for his sake, I hope he doesn't.
Oh, I'm not sure if they have any true sight, though. They do on Elisash, so Sandstorm is going to do a lot of nothing. Burst Strike will just kill him off. He uses it with the coil, so they'll take him down. Great timing to find that kill. And, you know, for Nisha, working towards his own Blink Dagger, does have the Veil already. And we very frequently see Veil just picked up on Puck just because it's good on the hero. In this game, when you're with someone like a Tiny, when you're with someone like a Disruptor in the Venge, and some mixed magic damage thrown in here and there, that amplification can get really out of control.
Yeah, people start exploding. Like, if you look at level 15 Tiny or something, like 1600 health.
Ooh, Nisha, cog bump back into the cast, perfectly done. That's,
can they get a bonus? They can.
I don't know how long that stun actually is, like, you know, 1.75 or something. They're going to snowball in. I'm not sure about that one, Katzer. Exotic Deer is going to try to get the hell out, but gets caught with the Burrow Strike. And now he's doomed to fall. Katzer as well will be picked off. They will find the kill onto the Shadow Fiend, as Exotic Deer is going to try desperately to swap himself out of there, but it's a little bit late, and now the hook shot in. Catches Patos. He's going to throw the Clockwork out, do quite a bit of damage, but the Death Ward once again is going to shred him. SQG starting to pick up some pace here as Kinguin try a little bit too desperately to get into these fights, it seems.
Yeah, I'm looking at these fights, and it's just Venge ends up in some very strange positions, like, and she gets caught away from her team, and this seems to happen repeatedly. Venge dies, and then Tiny and Co kill the Shadow Fiend, and then everyone just kind of walks away, and then Veno's the one that profits. Affirmative. Well played. So, pipe 4-stuff build coming out this Venomancer, so this pipe is going to be highly effective. But where's the damage going to come from now? The Shadow Fiend's working towards his Yasha, into Sanjin Yasha. And Exotic Deer is farming his own woods, so the game's going to calm down for a bit.
It seems like the early game aggression that Kinguin were trying to leverage, and it definitely, like, again, on paper, the right move to try to be aggressive with this draft. Seems like it was just a little bit too aggressively played out. They do have quite a few tools, even though the pipe is really great. If you get the initiation off onto someone like an SF away from the Venomancer, it may not matter at the end of the day. Katzer will snowball to the high ground, thinking it's safe. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. Although his backup is once again coming in, they're going to start the fight one hero down. Static Storm drops into the Clockwork once again, though does miss. Elisash has some real issues landing that Static Storm. Should be able to kill off Wish at the end of the day. No, they fall short. One more right click, still not enough. And now Nisha is caught with the Gale. Will try to orb himself out of there and will get to safety. Tricky's got to watch out. Burrow Strike in long from Mad King's Avalanche and Toss will punish the Sand King. Looks like he's going to get some distance, and actually he will also survive. No way. This is getting a little bit silly. Kinguin can't get anything, and SQG are cheating death time and time again. As Wish is moving in once again, does have a hook shot available. Does have a lot of heroes in back as well. Pato's going to try to cheese out the Sand King here. Will fall short. Hit with the Burrow Strike now and the Gale. Snowball going to come in and will kill off that Sand King at the end of the day. Patos is going to be the even trade, though. His Death Ward will grind him to bits. As Wish will disengage away. Earn charge on him. Not a big deal. He's got earn charges for himself to heal up. And this is starting to fall off the rails here for Kinguin. They're, again, really trying desperately to get these engagements. Will find a glimpse onto the SF, bring him right back into a field, and a snowball. There's a silence and a magic missile. They will bring him down for anything else, and the swap back on a Davy will set up for perhaps another Exotic Deer in the front lines right now, but this time has a Dragonlance, so it is quite bulky. And the Venomancer doesn't really have that much gas in the tank. In fact, doesn't have mana to do anything. They will cost themselves that Clockwork, and now chasing forward. Almost were able to catch up to that Venomancer. But Exotic Deer ultimately grabs a triple kill, and that may have just evened up this game a little bit more.
Yeah, that was very sloppy. They should not have been around. They should have backed off immediately after the... Staying for that tower was, yeah, asking for trouble. And now Venge just kind of speedrun his way back into the top net worth almost, so... Encroaching on the Venomancer. Venomancer who... I mean... He's farmed, but he's also got Force and a Pipe, so he doesn't really farm that fast, you know? This Veno does not become, like, hugely scary if left alone, so they have kind of space to work with here on Kinguin.
Mad Kings does have that Blink Dagger, and so far has used it pretty darn well, but still this SF needs to keep farming. He is starting to get into a little bit more of a comfortable spot for Shadow Fiends. He still wants to be on top, obviously isn't. But is still in a dangerous position because he's going up against this Blink Tiny. So, I mean, it's all well and good to have Venomancer with all this net worth, but if you don't have a Shadow Fiend, then I don't see SQG winning. If the Shadow Fiend constantly dies, that is. So, gotta make sure he's able to pick up some of these items, and Kinguin have to make sure, hey, Shadow Fiend is still vulnerable until he gets this BKB. That's the way they win these fights, I think, just by getting the jump in on SF and just crushing him first thing.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend's almost hit full souls. It's been a while since that's happened, so there's going to be a moment to celebrate. 36, there we go, he's back. Okay, Nisha's going to be pushing out this bot lane. He's going to get... Oh, there's a smoke coming in from the SQG supports. They're going to find the courier, but they're not going to go for it. They're going to find Nisha.
Blind hook shot does land, however, the orb out. And
Ooh,
with everything else missing,
misses.
the Burrow Strike misses, the cask is dodged by the phase shift, they'll Death Ward for like 10 damage. Oof, yeah, slippery puck.
Yeah, not the best execution on that gank, so that's going to really hurt. That's a lot of time wasted. Shadow Fiend's going to be able to farm top, though, so it's not all bad. Kinguin, farming Shadow Blade on Tiny, they're farming Pike on Putt, oh, Pike on Bend, rather. So, I think they're happy to just play this a bit patiently. Maybe go for a pick-off, push the tier 2, and then after that, sit back a bit, farm, get Roche, and then try again.
What are your thoughts on this Puck's Travels pickup? It's definitely like a good item on any hero, and for Puck, it's no different, but opting to go for Travels, whereas normally players just go for like a Yule or something like that, is kind of does indicate that Kinguin are kind of okay with just chilling, right?
I mean, it's a better farming build. It's also better in terms of just kind of being around the map and being able to push out lanes and get to fights. But I think it's also more the fact that if you look at the normal like build progression, yeah, you'd have like Veil, Blink, Yules, and kind of thing. But what does the early Yules give you in this game? Is there anything possibly that you will actually help yourself with this Yules? It's like it doesn't really do anything because you're going to get Sanking Stunned, you're going to get Maledicted. Like you can dispel Venogale, and that's about it, right? So there's no real point going earlier, so you might as well be around the map a bit more. Which is what this boosted travel allows you to do. So you can sit bot and you can go, well, if this goes wrong, I can just TP top and farm that, and then it's just going to catch waves and get out of here.
Orb out, Blink out, hookshot misses.
Oh, another hookshot gone.
Doing stuff like that is what you can do as Puck. Just very obnoxiously push the waves. Suddenly he's on top lane, teleporting in towards the Vengeful Spirit Helm of the Dominator creeps. Definitely some interaction there. So, yeah, we'll get those items up. I mean, sequencing is really the only issue there, if there is an issue at all. It's an all-star item on any hero, so Exotic Deer does pick up a Hurricane Pike with that Helm of the Dominator. Still nipping at the heels of that Venomancer's net worth, who is still in the #1 position, and is going to go for that Aghanim Scepter, so is looking to be that one and done Venomancer.
Yeah, I kind of like that. But I think eventually someone's going to buy a pipe on this team. Yeah, the Tusk is going for one right now, so that's going to mitigate that a bit. But not that much. So Venom will still be effective, but it's going to quickly get eclipsed on the net worth by Venge, especially after they get a tower or a Roche, or a one-team fight. All of which seem to be happening these days. Tiny just achieved a Shadow Blade. Oh no, he actually missed the CS, so he doesn't have a Shadow Blade.
Atzer. I think he's hit with the Gale in there. No, I guess not. He has to blink out. Well, gonna get to safety. SQG, they're definitely looking for some opportunities to play aggressively. At least this Clockwork is trying desperately to catch up to some of these heroes. I do feel like it's only a matter of time before Nisha gets picked off here. Like, you can only do this game for so long before Hookshot eventually lands.
I don't see how they get him. Like, they need to hookshot him after the orb ends, but I don't think he's really given them the opportunity to do that. Even with vision over the area, like, they just can't catch him. So he can do this with impunity.
Cliff Ward, maybe?
Maybe,
I
but that's a bit.
He's like the only hero that's actually playing in such a way that is really killable. Like, everyone else on Kinguin just so defensively positioned that you gotta smoke gank with, like, everyone if you're gonna go and kill, like, Exotic Deer right now.
Well, RVP's got his BKB coming up soon, so they're actually going to be able to take a fight, because the BKB is a thing that really lets them do damage in this fight with Shadow Fiend, so they can start the fight off as Sanking or Clockwork, and then hopefully when they catch someone, they can let the Shadow Fiend kind of lay into them. and the Vano ulti to dissuade people from actually just hitting him in the head very hard. So it's just Kinguin are sitting in all 3 lanes though. They're farming quite a lot, whereas SQG they can't really go very many places. They push out mid, they push out bot. Top lane is a complete no man's land for them. Even with this ward on the top rune, they're going to see this arcane ring, but I don't know if they really want to go there. It seems like a scary place with the wolf eating the arcane ring. That's terrifying.
Yeah, cats are walking around with the gem as well. Instead of like stalled out game state, when you're split pushing and being real cute with some of your heroes, making sure that they're not spotted by obs is super important. So playing the vision game, and I do like that. In the meantime, bottom got Patos with 2 heroes kind of stacked up there. Avalanche toss, though the barrier does go up. He'll just blink straight out as Exotic Deer goes in. Will cost them the Disruptor over in top lane. They were able to find the hook shot, and he will go down. But it's a Disruptor. He already has a 4-staff, actually. That's it's not bad on the Disruptor. Is the expendable hero. That's completely fine for Kinguin.
Yeah, I think they would have liked to get either the Witch Doctor or the Venomancer down bot, but unfortunately Pipe means they can't get either of them. Not quite working out.
Oh, they'll find the Shadow Fiend. BKB is going to come up. Walrus Punch, a couple right clicks maybe, but not going to risk it. Now they're caught in the cogs of the Snowball. Is going to keep them safe. It's the Requiem, and Nisha's going to blink in, looking to pick off that Shadow Fiend. Gem now on the deck as Patos going to arrive. BKB now out, beats him down with the tree, tosses up the Clockwork, who does have the Gem now. He's going to try to desperately run into the trees. Looks like they'll bug out of here because the backup for SQG is coming in real quickly. They do get away with the Gem, but lose their SF for it. They're not going to... I don't know. It seems like with that Gem, might be worth.
I think losing the SF is too expensive here. He's starting to get really high up on that net worth, and every single death he has hurts so much. Patos is going to get forced out, but he's going to immediately get caught by the hook shot, and so he cannot get out, so he will die.
That poison kicks in so quickly as a Tiny. He has no magic resistance of his own, and no BKB. Really,
20% magic
you're gonna go for an Echo first, so if you get caught with that poison, you're gonna take a lot of damage, guaranteed. Just gotta make sure to take someone with you, I suppose. But still, in the meantime, bottom lane, while everyone at SQG is looking top, looking for Tiny kills, Puck's looking for towers, and does pick it up, and is gonna go for an Aghanim Scepter coil. So BKB's on the Shadow Fiend, on really anyone else, suddenly not looking too attractive.
Yeah, this Ags is going to be quite important. Oh, well, he's going to get caught a little bit here, but it doesn't really matter because they can't really kill him at all, so he's going to be fine. He's also going to walk around in invis and be kind of annoying. He might force this SF BKB.
There's the coil, there's the BKB, and there's the bail out. Epicenter off to the top side will find Katzer, and this Snowball is, well, going to get him a blink out of there. And blinks up to the north, actually, where he's going to shard off the passageway and still gets hookshot. He's going to lead them on a chase just to, again, just buy space, buy some time here. Not really going to be a huge cost there for Kinguin, as once again, the puck immediately travels down to the bottom lane, shoves that lane in just a little bit more, and everyone else will go up towards top. Now, with no puck, no Tusk, this is fairly risky, though they will find in the freest kill possible in that Witch Doctor. He's super dead. Probably not the kill they were really hoping for, but at least they don't get punished, so Kinguin got to be okay with that.
Yep, you can see why the Boots of Travel were picked up now. Oh, Shadow Fiend, be careful.
Dual Scepter on the puck, not being used to slow down the SF. Now it will be, as Elisash is going to get tagged with the Spirit Vessel, and he's going to just drain out. Nisha does land a 2-man coil. It's going to do nothing. Poor Disruptor, man. Nothing you do about that.
This feels so bad when you die like that, man.
At least he buys out. Like, he gets all the consumables.
Yeah, he's got his tome, he's got his dust. Castle's going to push out this bot lane a bit. Yeah, like, all they need to do really is just keep the Puck and the Venge on opposite sides of the map, or, well, at least Puck and one hero on opposite sides of the map. Keep pushing out lanes. And then keep SQG playing pretty scared. And then until one day SQG are going to make a mistake, they're going to get picked off, if that happens. And then they give up Roche fairly quickly because there's a Venge on the other team who has a BKB Pike and is now working towards a Nullifier.
I don't really know when Vengeful Spirit overtook the Veno there, but it happened really quickly. They're going to get a lot of stuns onto the Puck. Phase shift with Yule Scepter afterwards, or a Blink's. Got a lot of options, but doesn't use any of them.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, I feel like that shouldn't have been that easy, but it's a Puck kill. Again, eventually you're going to get picked off there, but still, the Puck's second place in net worth. The Vengeful Spirit is pushed all the way to the top of the net worth chart with a lot of durability and a lot of extra damage for herself and her allies. With the target, it's the Venomancer. Avalanche, Toss, Walrus Punch, taking a little bit of a sky trip there. Tricky does get his ultimate off. There's no way for them to actually capitalize off of this. It's only Wish with no hook shot in. Gonna try to interrupt the TP of Katsur. The Hurricane Pike doesn't do him any favors. Looks like the Tusk is doomed to fall here. Trying to go for that Wolf Deny, I think. Elisash in the bottom side of things. May live, may die. Ultimately, they do walk in, kill the Venomancer. Costs them perhaps a little bit more than they would really like, ultimately. But still, it's
it only cost them the Tusk. It's fine. It's completely fine, though. They do lose the tower, but I think that was inevitable given the fact that Puck had already died, so... Getting that trade using the Venomancer ulti, even though, well, Veno ulti is going to come up again because it's a 60-second cooldown, because that's okay for some reason.
Oh, Patos, he's going to stack him up. Avatos with the Static Storm onto 3 with the coil onto 4. Immediately 2 are going to fall, and now the Clockwork as well. He's doomed. There's Shadow Fiend. He's going to get swapped out. 2 heroes just beating down him. He's trying desperately to kill off Patos, who's not even going to die. Gets out of there with the Magic Missile slowing him down. He blinks out from the Death Requiem, and it's a full wipe. That is some tiny initiation right there, and that is some serious follow-up from Kinguin. Is going to get them a lot of kills. Your net worth lead is going to start pushing in their direction off of that one, but man, that was some execution.
Yeah, perfect initiation. He caught the Witch Doctor around the Sand King, so catching one of the initiators as well. And then the coil catches everybody. It's just a nice combo. And then Shadow Fiend's sitting there with his BKB, but he doesn't really do that much damage, so he can't really save the fight for them. I like that little play from Exotic Deer. He swapped the BKB Death out of coil, but the Puck doesn't actually have Ags yet, so that just kind of made a snapping sound and didn't really do anything. But you get the idea what he was going for there.
Mm-hmm. Do that again in now, and we'll see some impressive stun duration on that SF. Also worth noting that this Tiny, having gone for this build, is, this build is a damage build, obviously, but Tiny as a hero just gets jacked up so huge by having Vengeful Spirit on his team, especially with the Helm of the Dominator. Like 45% bonus damage now that the Venge took that talent. All applies to this 200 damage that he has. It gets really stupid. Hopefully they'll get together soon enough. We can see how much damage this Tiny actually gets in addition. Coil drops onto Tricky. Swap out immediately. There's the combo. Going off for a Venomancer, though. He is fairly bulky. They're going to drop everything on him. The Epicenter does come in. The Venomancer needs to die, and he will go down. And that's going to be a little bit of win there, but RVP's in the middle of the fight with winding up the Requiem, lands it onto absolutely everyone. He doesn't have max souls, but still does a lot of damage. Patos now going to try to retreat up the high ground. Orb out from the Puck as well. They're both on the run. They're both looking worse than where Tiny had a chance to blink out, but didn't. And now Puck should be okay here, as the Glimpse is going to give the Puck a little bit extra cover here. Burrow Strike going to miss up against the Yule Scepter. Puck will jaunt to the Orb, which is a million miles away. Mad Kings looking for a little bit of a chase. They will find the Disruptor with some vision. And they will have eventually another Blink Burrow Strike, so it looks like Elisash probably dead here. Unless he gets into the trees and teleports out. Okay, well, he's going to survive, it looks like. Oh, Burrow Strike so close, yet so far. Kinguin, that initiation, only onto that Venomancer. At least take him out before he's able to get any spells off. But still, he's so bulky that it just takes him a little bit too long.
Yeah, the nice thing about Venomancer is he forces this kind of thing. Like, you need to kill him first. If that ulti goes off, then so difficult, and that's why Venomancer was picked a lot. But now it's like, nowadays the Venomancer doesn't have that stupid XP talent. He doesn't get to the I kill everybody with my ulti stage quite as quickly anymore, so he's manageable as a hero. Now Shadow Fiend is going to get his Butterfly fairly soon, and the damage output coming out from him is going to be significant. Just looking around, having to go that far through the entirety of SQG to get to the Venomancer really isn't ideal. The fact that they swapped him out of the coil was quite nice, but the positioning of that fight generally didn't really suit Kinguin. So It's just going to be a little bit of a split push game again. Patos going to one lane, Nisha farming the enemy Ancients. All the lanes pushed out really for Kinguin, so they can look to see if they want to make any moves now.
Well, it's not going to be the end result of Roche for either side here. It's still some pretty big items coming up. We have another pipe being built up on Mad Kings, it looks like. Just wants to further mitigate that puck's effectiveness, which is, you know, it kind of just doomed to happen for Nisha at this point in the game. But even though they do have all that magic resistance, you still have to deal with that coil snap, which pipes obviously will, I guess, kind of cover somewhat, but is still that stun they have to worry about. Patos joined up with Nisha is going to jump in, coil onto the Shadow Fiend. He doesn't know that Patos is also here. He's going to jump in, toss, avalanche. A little bit late, though, with the chain stun. Patos now taking so much damage from this SF. Will go into the trees, but will go down. Off to the side in the meantime. Looks like we have a little bit of a scuffle here. Not going to lead to anything, as still this puck is trying to cheese out this SF kill, and is maybe going to cost him his own life here. Does phase shift, does have a Yule Scepter, does have an orb out, but the Burrow Strike is going to catch him on the fall, and will be yet another kill, including a gem turnover again. Kinguin are really trying to make a lot happen with just a couple skeleton crews, and it is costing them heavily, as Cats are in a little bit of trouble now. Will TP out, looks like that'll be clean. But SQG get a lot of free kills up with that SF.
Yeah, they could have killed that Shadow Fiend though. If as soon as he drops the coil, if Puck starts walking away and walks outside of the tiny to break that coil, then they would have killed the Shadow Fiend though. But for some reason they didn't do that. I don't know why, but maybe they didn't think of it, but...
Or if the Avatos actually stunned him properly.
Yeah, instead they didn't really get anything out of that, so... Losing the Puck, losing the Tiny, losing the Gem, losing the Roche. This is how games snowball out of control, but they do have a lot of control around this pit, so...
He's going to buy back. They've caught Tricky in the corner, but this is into a Venomancer, so even if you kill him off, he'll just press that R button, and it's not going to do great, although they will
There's the
get
combo.
the foil stun, and they will bring him down. Static Storm is dropped, but the Roshan is going to be claimed here by RVP. Shadowfiend now is double life, and Disruptor is already down. Exotic Deer with the BKB is caught in the cogs now. Mad King's in the front, has another Burrow Strike. Requiem in the back, won't do anything, and now they're going to stack up for the Tiny to Avalanche onto 2. Toss to kill off the SF, at least his first life. Snowball chasing forward. Looks like Katsur will put the Mad King Sand King in a body bag as the puck is trying to chase after Davey. They have to focus on the RVP though, because he's still doing a lot of damage here. Toss is there to stall him up a little bit, give Katsur a little bit of room here. As Exotic Deer is going to follow up with the Magic Missile onto Wish. Force Staff, not an option just yet. He's up to the high ground, but it's too late. He's already gone down. And they've also been able to keep off that Witch Doctor. Now RVP with the Flutter is going to probably get himself to safety, although lifted up. I'm not sure if they have enough control here to actually kill off this SF. Nisha is going to try to body block. That can only work for so long for SF is like, screw you, I'm just going to kill you. It looks like he's still trying to get this kill. Here comes Patos. It's a little bit late. They do drop the coil. They do get the kill. That's a puck dieback, but I think that probably is worth it.
Maybe that's worth it. I'm not quite sure. I guess, yeah, making sure that there's no Shadow Fiend here for the push. Now there's a Vengeful Spirit alive and no Shadow Fiend, so... But I don't really think they can push this. The Venomancer's up, so... Yeah, maybe worth, but it still just feels bad for the Shadow Fiend. This is like, at this point, RVP knows how much Nisha wanted him to die. He was willing to give his life for it.
A move of respect. It's like, hey, they want me dead. That's how much they respect me.
It's not really respect. It's more like just
Fear.
kind of hate.
Hate? Okay.
Hate minus violence, that kind of thing.
Bottom line, it still leads to the dark side. So, you know, Shadow Fiend in name and play style. Yep. Vengeful Spirit does pick up an MKB. Mischance, I think only on the SF right now. Shouldn't really be on anyone else. So, maybe a Radiance on the Sand King. Wow. Still to get those that accuracy bonus up against that SF. And Vengeful Spirit, if she's actually able to land a Magic Missile on SF, dude is gonna absolutely fold.
Yeah, he's gonna die pretty fast. So
there's also Magic Missile pierces spell immunity, which we don't really see all that often. Is that at all viable here?
I don't think it's really that good. Like, there's only one BKB that's ever going to be a concern in this game. You know, Venomancer isn't going to go for. It's a 5-second BKB now on Shadow Fiend. Anyway, you can stun him for that duration with just a swap coil anyway. So I say anyway a lot because honestly, I don't really think it's going to be that good if you take that talent. So I'd go for the 400 damage myself.
I feel like that's the more common talent. 400 is a lot, man.
Yeah, it is. It's just you just finger of death someone every, what is it, 10 seconds. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Castle's going to be pushing out the bot lane with Tiny pushing out the top lane, and Kinguin have reached a situation again where they're pushing in all the lanes. SQG is sitting there on their own woods going, we kind of farmed, but why don't we win?
Gotta protect that SF, gotta... I don't know.
Venomance has had it with dying.
I guess this is how you play around that coil play. Get the disc on the Venomancer.
He's gone for it. He's got the Aeon disc. It's happened. Alright, Nisha, he hasn't really farmed that much, but he's spotted out the Witch Doctor. Is he going to go for him? No, because they don't see enough heroes, so they're a bit scared to go for that. The 3-hero kill squad is going to wait on bot lane. For no reason whatsoever.
This is a very high farm game. On the cores, obviously, they're stacked up huge, but even on these other side heroes, this Sand King is filthy rich. Like, again, Pipe, Yules, Blink, Force. Like,
I mean, he's less rich than the Tusk. The Tusk is sitting on 14,000 net worth at this point.
Yeah, Tusk is disgustingly farmed. 3,300 in gold, though, which is less than ideal, but dude is gonna go for the kick, which I believe doesn't pierce spell immunity, but will snap coils nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know if it does pierce spell immunity or not. I think it doesn't, but
I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, that just wouldn't make sense, right? Like, why would a kick pierce spell immunity? It doesn't make any sense at all. Sand King on the top lane is booking it.
He's throwing the
Gem
tree.
is on the puck, I believe. He's juking and jiving, but the orb is gonna spot him. Now Thunderstruck up. No escape. Oh, swatted down.
Oof.
Like a bug. Will be brought down. 70 seconds on the sidelines. And that is quite a nice pickup, but perhaps the more relevant thing is that they have another option on this bottom lane as Tricky is going to get swapped back. Magic Missile and the right click from a double damage Exotic Deer. The disc does proc, so the combo is broken and the shards will be off. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake there. And hook shot in is going to cancel Exotic Deer's TP out. He's going to pop BKB and just go to town on Wish, though. And that's a gem turnover. Exotic Deer caught in the cogs will dig himself out and make a break for it. He's still slowed down a little bit. Snowball to give him a little bit of room. Exotic Deer trying to rush down the Shadow Fiend will fail to do so.
Dude, Shadow Fiend's dying to the illusion.
Shadow Fiend's dude, so much damage there. Holy crap, that illusion.
It hurts so much. It's 100% damage illusion. Yeah, I took 2,900 damage from Vengeful Spirit.
Well, I mean, Wish, you have no armor items, so what do you expect to happen there?
Yeah, it's not like he has a blade mail or anything, which I honestly think would still be okay to get, but he has other ideas. He thinks the Solar Crest is probably going to be better, and it might, so what do I know? Shadow Fiend is going for the Satanic. He took the cooldown reduction talent, so he's probably going to be getting like a Bloodthorn or something after this, and then a whole bunch of other active items which will justify this talent choice. Again, it's just Kinguin. They're farming a lot. The net worth difference is growing a bit. Nisha's got his, well, he's got the 420 gold a minute talent, so he's going to be soaring up that net worth chart. He's going to pick up the Arcane Rune as well, so probably going to be aggressive pretty soon.
Dude, we're both wrong. We should both retire. Walrus Kick does pierce spell immunity.
I mean, I thought it might. I was just like, I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
If I recall, your official stance was you thought it
didn't. I thought it might not. I refuse to admit that I concretely said anything wrong, because that would obviously put me in a terrible position, and I do not allow that to happen. So I will retroactively say that it...
I cannot confirm nor deny the validity of that statement.
Yep. I refuse to put my stance forward in any meaningful way, so that I cannot be caught out at a later date. The castle's going to be walking under these walls. He's going to deal with them with a gem, and Mad Kings is going to say hi, and so is everyone else.
He has Snowball to Davy, maybe a blink out afterwards. Not going to happen this time, though. He's just refusing to die thanks to that pipe. Look how freaking tanky this Tusk is. I mean, that was all like magical damage, obviously. And once the SF comes in, it's like fun's over, dude. But, yeah. He is fairly bulky, considering he is still, in quotation marks, a support hero. But at this point, again, everyone's getting so much gold that it's going to be like, 6 slots for everyone. Except for Disruptor. He's not getting jack. Which
yeah,
he's... Well, actually, no, Disruptor He still doesn't have Jack, but he is getting a little bit closer towards that Aghanim Scepter. Being able to block out any BKB at all, any activatable item. That is.
He's one level away from actually having gold. That gold per minute talent is really nice on him. Ooh, Mad Kings is
farming Static Storm. No big deal.
Yeah, he was scared for a little bit there. He was scared of the Venge, but I think he could have just 4-star forward and just murdered that Disruptor. Or DD Rune spotted top. Shadowfiend is going to butterfly over towards that. They're checking the Roche to see if it's available, but it's not there. They should know that from the timing. Niche is going to get ran up by Wish a little bit here in the top lane. He's going to go away, get caught immediately by the Sand King. And I think he's fine.
Hook shot off. And
he needs to use this off a bit.
This freaking magician, man. He also picked up the gold per minute talent, so the 420 golds. Look at it tick, man. Never get tired of seeing that. Gonna go for the Dagon, and soon is actually just done farming. Like, he's actually topped out very, very soon here.
I want to see this Tiny get his Bloodthorn, and then this hero gets absurd. But even right now, he's got 3 tosses, so he can do a lot of damage. I think with Bloodthorn, you can do something like 4,000 damage in a combo, with the enemy being perma-stunned. So it's pretty insane with that hero right now. He's reached a stage where no one really wants to be left alone on the map. But here comes the push, the Arcane Rune on Venomancer. He really wants to use it, but he's not going to be able to.
Now jump in. Silence only, no coil yet.
Zap.
Pop the disc, so maybe now they can make something happen. Although, I don't even know if they want to. They still have Tiny pushing this bottom lane. A tower, a tier 2 tower at this stage, is not a terribly huge deal gold-wise. It's kind of a drop in the bucket.
Coming out. Here we go. They're running down mid. They're running down bot. They're running in some indeterminate direction. Okay, they're running into the enemy woods. This is where they're going.
Venomancer pushing that level 25 pretty quickly as well. But not up just yet. Ward on the high ground is going to see a Shadow Fiend. They're going to immediately try to swap him out, but he is going to be safe. What the hell happened?
They put the Lotus on the Shadow Fiend, so he didn't actually move from the swap.
Okay, there you go. Shadow Fiend is still going to take a lot of damage there. Is glimmered, but only has the 1 life this time. Death Ward almost full channel onto Patos. AC can only do so much. He's going to try desperately to toss everything. Gets put into the snowball. Is going to survive for a little while longer, but I think he's probably doomed to fall here. They're going to try to focus on Exotic Deer. He's going to struggle a little bit, but is in a pretty good position on the high ground. And he's going to lay into Wish. Take some more damage from this Vengeful Spirit. Satanic going to keep him alive in the process. SF is back in this fight. He's starting to approach. A couple raises will kill off that Vengeful Spirit. The illusion will do a little bit, but probably not enough. Snowball out towards Katsor. Hookshot going to give chase, and he will fall. As the Shadow Fiend was forced to buy back, as was the Venomancer. I think that's it for the buybacks. That is going to be a fight that SQG ultimately do come back into and win, and that's going to give them Roche. So these buybacks definitely providing them some serious value.
Yeah, this is really nice for them. They're going to go for the Scardian Shadow Fiend, which doesn't really quite match up with talent choices so far, but oh well. So they're going to get this Roshan, 2 buybacks for that 1-team fight. I'd say that's definitely worth it as long as they do Roche, which they should. Niche is going to be running off to the other side of the map to go split push a little bit, because honestly, what else can he really do? That fight was looking good, and then you see Tiny just kind of die to the whole support cast of SQG. And then Venomancer just came back with his buttons. So they didn't really have any way to win that fight after that. Also, the Satanic really didn't help out that much because he didn't have BKB at the same time. So he was Vesseled, so he was just getting like 100 HP from every hit instead of like the normal 700 you'd be expecting. So Venge wasn't really able to survive. But that was a really nice Lotus on the Shadow Fiend. I'm pretty sure if he dies instantly there, they lose the fight even with buybacks.
That was a really, really deep play there from Kinguin inherently. Once again, trying really desperately to get that coil snap, get that initiation off onto their own terms, but much like we saw in that previous tier 2 fight in the mid lane, just a little bit too far this time. Still, they do hold on to the gold lead, but momentum for sure is no longer in their hands, or at least as long as this Aegis is on the field. Cheese is also somewhere. Yeah, it's on the Venomancer. So, able to get that full restore. Not really the greatest hero to have Cheese on, since if you die as Venomancer, it's like, you know, whatever. As long as you get your ultimate off, you're usually pretty happy. Although he is going to go for an AC. Going to go for a little more of a battling Venomancer build here.
Yeah, dealing some right click damage would be nice. Well, it's not really even him, it's just kind of enabling the Shadow Fiend, making sure that Tiny doesn't burst people. Like, all of the damage coming out from Kinguin up from the puck is pretty much magic at this point. Or it's physical, rather. So the AC is going to do a lot. Oh, Venge did take the Magic Missile Pierce's spell immunity. I don't really like it very much because I think you don't really need that much more to disable on a BKB target. The damage is actually pretty significant.
Well, we'll see if it does anything here. I mean, they have that as an answer to BKB. They also have this Disruptor.
Oh,
now with an Agnum Scepter as another answer to a BKB. Might be overloaded in answers for just that singular item. But I guess it remains to be seen. If it gets them a kill, if it like opens up the high ground for Rax, then it's all worth it in the end, right? Obs from the Radiant is going to see nothing as Wish is going to throw out a Flare. Also sees really nothing.
No one sees anyone, and then Kinguin are going to walk down, and the Shadow Fiend's just running
you
straight
don't want to
in.
go up there, man. Static Storm immediately down. Now he can't BKB. He is going to have the Aegis, so he will survive for a little while longer. Epicenter drops into the back lines right now, with Patos taking so much damage. RVP refusing to go down at this stage. The Death Ward is shredding everyone, and everyone from Kinguin has to retreat. Now, I'm not really sure if that's really a viable option at this stage. They've invested everything to kill off this SF, and they don't get him. The illusion almost kills him, but it's just short. And Kinguin don't have a buyback on this Vengeful Spirit. She is very poor off of that buyback. And this is going to be... Okay, well, they do lose the Aegis after all, but he's got the cheese still, so he doesn't really care. That looked so good. Initiate on a Shadow Fiend like that, but just not enough damage going into him.
Okay, they actually only got 2 creeps here, so they've got a bit of time. I think that Kinguin should be able to hold this, but those creeps are well protected because there's a big Shadow Fiend sitting in the way.
Our Plague Wards being set up. Creep Wave
they have the
now down.
Disruptor.
Tower is going to fall. It's still 50 seconds off of that Venge. Coil does land onto 3. They're going to kick the Shadow Fiend away, snap the Coil, but that's about all it does. Patos now caught in the cogs will get Force-staffed out. A little barrier up the melee racks that does things for reasons, and Burrow Strike in. Onto 2. Patos gonna stack him up. Will do a lot of damage. In fact, kill off Wish. Now trying to go into RVP with the Satanic there and the BKB this time. Look at that lifesteal. He'll get punched out of his Requiem. And now with the Death Ward and the Requiem will just shred Katsura and Nisha. Still trying to fight without their Vengeful Spirit. They do an admirable job, but not quite good enough. Nisha looking to cheese that RVP. Oh, 80 damage short. And he's gonna be fine, it looks like. Dagon not quite doing enough there.
If he caught him, though, that would have been so big. That would have opened up a push for them when Venge respawned. And the fact that they don't catch him is pretty expensive here. Use your Satanic. Come on, man. Regenerate. Right? He's just going to go back to base after this, I guess.
Sure, why not?
Alright, so that was unfortunate for Kinguin. Nothing there really went well for them. Tiny just ended up not BKB in the middle of 4 heroes, and then he just died without getting any spells off. So, Kinguin, I guess they're working towards Butterfly. Puck is starting to amp up in terms of damage, working towards that boosted travel level 2. No point saving for buyback now. Probably going to go, I don't know what Puck goes for. I think you can maybe replace the Yules because the Yules has kind of lost its value. Like, you can get rid of low Vessel and stuff, but that's about it. It's nice to have, but there's probably better items to have at 50 minutes in the game.
Something like a Shiva's Guard, get a Bloodthorn.
Yeah, probably looking towards E-Blade. I don't know.
Okay.
Simply just because you can only... They can't really combo the Puck's damage with anyone at this point because it's mostly BKB targets being gone on by the Venge and the Tiny. So maybe just E-Blade to amp his own damage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I wonder if the... Do you know if the buyback penalty applies to the gold talent on Puck?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like it.
All gold talent.
Find him. The swap this time not canceled. Can they focus him? He's gonna have his BKB disabled forever, but they kick him out. Oh no, Tusk! Oh, Exotic Deer now is gonna fall, and RVP survives. Can they get anyone else? They should have a hook shot. Yeah, just in 10 seconds. Katsur. Oh, he is gonna get chased down. Yule's up, and he is pretty screwed here. No real way to get out of this for a Tusk. He could buy a lot of time.
He can blink. He can blink. Maybe. Oh no, he cogged it.
Kicked him away though. Walrus Kick is definitely one of those ags that's not a strict upgrade.
I mean, it gives you Yeah, it's just an ability that you have to choose when or when not to use it. So I think that was still fine, because I think he might have saved someone's life by kicking the Shadow Fiend away there, because they did not have the damage to kill him in any way, shape, or form. Because that Shadow Fiend was full HP sitting in that with 3,500 HP. So, or 3,300, whatever it's got. So it wasn't really going to work out. Nisha's just going to...
Using the Vengeful Spirit in that fashion, like, it's great for the stun and everything. And if you have a Force Staff to get back immediately, then it's not that bad, but it's not going to work out all the time. The swap
the problem
range
is that
sometimes
usually
so long that you have to get a little bit close before you actually cast that swap. One rack's already in advantage for SQG. Hookshot gonna miss. They will Burrow Strike in onto the puck, though, as Patos gonna jump into a lot of damage. Cleave damage as well. Onto Tricky. Trying to focus down now onto RVP. Once again, Force Staff's out. Once again, he'll be fine versus the swap. He'll kill off Patos, as Exodia has bought back right now. He's gonna hit with the Burrow Strike, and it looks like he may go down again. This Vengeful Spirit trying desperately to fight back, but can't lifesteal enough. That's 2 kills on heroes that don't have buybacks. That should be GG, and SQG are going to push us, it looks like, to a 3rd game.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite close it out with the advantage they had. They never really had a 7k in favor of Kinguin, but then they just lost a whole bunch of fights, because honestly, they don't really have very good... That's so silly. Every single time that kick happens, it's so silly.
Especially Lotus Walrus kick, dude.
Yeah, I think the Lotus save on the Shadow Fiend when he was like near his tier 3 was very, very important, and it really saved that fight for them. That fight, when that went really bad, was kind of the point where the game got very difficult for Kinguin. And then a whole bunch of pickoffs, like you said, Nisha getting picked off as well. That started to happen quite a bit more often than it should. And their lead crumbled. You can see on the graphs as well. It was really up and down, but as soon as they got towards like that 10k gold mark, they took that bad fight, and then, well, you saw what happened.
It just seems like SQG had a couple more good plays than Kinguin, and just a couple fewer bad plays. Much more frequently, we're able to just like find a random Kinguin hero here and there, or at least it seemed like it. And keeping RVP alive in all of those fights, like obviously that's the objective for SQG's draft. That's the entire purpose of these of their game plan, but able to execute it very consistently, especially when it counted. Will push us to a game 3. Again, loser drops down to a lower bracket, best of 1, guys. Winner moves onwards. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Rhyme. Don't go anywhere, because the next game should be coming up shortly.